Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live, and I'm just going to take a second to make sure that I am live out here on my business page, which is where I want to be, and it looks like I am, so I'm just pulling up the video so I can see if you're joining in and leaving any comments. If you are joining me live, I appreciate it, and feel free to leave a comment to say hello. And if you're watching the replay, that is awesome as well. I appreciate that too. So today, goodness, again, I'm all off center. I don't know why I can't seem to get this centered right. When I look at it on the video, it looks okay until I turn the button on and then it goes all crazy. So hey, Karen, thanks for hopping in today. I appreciate you being here. So today we are going to be making a little card here with the Dove of Hope stamp set bundle. This is one that is in the new mini catalog, so I'm excited about that, and I'm happy that we've got a really pretty new stamp set bundle that we can use here. So this is the stamp set, and again, it's called Dove of Hope. It's got lots of pretty sentiments in it. I love the images of the birds in it. So hey, Connie and Barbara and Jerry, thanks for joining today. I appreciate you all being here. So this is the stamp set, and then it has an awesome set of coordinating dies to go with it. So these dies, obviously, this one and this one cut out some of the stamped images, but there are also some dies here that cut out images that are not the stamped images. So it actually has the dies to cut out birds, to cut out your dove here, and then there are some little accessory pieces with the branches and that sort of thing that you can cut out as well. So it's a really good die set, really good stamp set, and again, bundled together in the mini catalog, the August to December 2020 mini catalog, and you can get it for 10% off with the bundle pricing. So let me set this aside here a little bit and talk about a couple other things we're going to use. Hey, Deborah, glad that you're here as well. And glad that you like my card, Karen. I appreciate it. So, and you all also have to let me know, I am trying out a new light for my videos, and so I hope that it's better. I don't know, hopefully it is. If you feel like the lighting is too dark or whatever, I need to change something, let me know. But I'm just playing around a little bit with the lighting and seeing if I can find some really good light sources. So, okay, so this is the card. A couple other things we used on it is I used one of these stitched shapes dies, the circle in particular, for the sentiment on here. And I also used the really pretty Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. Looks good to you? Okay, good, I'm glad. All right. Hey, Rosie, glad that you're here. So this is the Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder, and this is another new item that is in the mini catalog, and you definitely need to get this one. It's really pretty. Again, I don't know how well it shows up. It's a little hard lighting-wise and all that sort of thing to see it. Hopefully it catches the light just right in the video so you can see what I've done. So, all right. Hey, Kathy, I'm glad you're here from Canada, and Maryland's here as well. So good to see you all, and thanks for joining today. So let's get rolling on the card. Oh wait, no, two things. First thing, bonus days are going on now, so make sure that you get the redemption of the bonus days coupons, I should say, going on now. So make sure that you are getting your coupon codes spent. You don't want to lose out on those. You have until the end of the month to cash in any of those coupon codes that you earned during the month of July and early August. So get your orders put in by August 31st and redeem your coupons. So the lighting looks good. I'm glad. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know that. Like I said, I've been, playing around with it, trying to get it set up the best way that I can, and the easiest way. I had some lights I had two that were like one on either side here, and they got in the way so much that I found a new one that clips on the side of my desk and kind of puts a bar over the top of it. So hopefully that'll work well for us. All right, and the next thing that I wanted to let you know about is Stampin' Up! Is going to be having a starter kit promotion during the month of September. So I'm just letting you know a little bit ahead of time. If you've been thinking about joining as a demonstrator, September is going to be another awesome month to do that. So normally you still are going to get your $125 worth of merchandise that you get to choose anything that you like for your starter kit. You'll pay $99 plus taxes if that applies in your area. It ships for free. But in addition to that, for the month of September, Stampin' Up! Is giving you an awesome little bonus, especially if you're interested in starting this out as a business. They are going to be giving you some card packs that have some pre-designed cards in them. And everything's set up. They're going to give you a PDF, videos to show you exactly how to make them, a stamp set called Queen Anne's Lace, another stamp set called So Much Love, and a pack of rhinestones in addition to the 2 packs of cardstock, or 2 sets of card bases that you're going to get. And that's all going to be for free in addition to your normal $125 that you get in your starter kit. So another really great deal. Just wanted to let you know about that and get you thinking about that. So if you're interested in joining, drop me a note. I'd be happy to talk with you more about it. And again, the month of September is going to be a nice little time to do that. All right, let's get rolling on the card. The card base is Cherry Cobbler, and I have it cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And again, this is just for the card like I make, where it's the more portrait card. You can also make it a book-like card and cut it to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and score it at 4 1/4. It's the exact same card base. And then I've got a little bit of the Plaid Tidings designer paper, and they've got some really pretty Christmas ones in that pack of paper. Good for all seasons, but the paper for Christmas I especially love. So that piece of designer series paper is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just gluing it down with a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. And I usually do that for my card fronts when I'm covering the entire card front in a designer paper, because it gives me just a minute to do what I'm doing right now, which is sort of checking to make sure and wiggling things around and messing them up probably, but just checking to make sure that everything is straight and lined up where I want it to be before it is stuck for good. All right, so that is the basic card front. Then I've got a couple of pieces of cardstock that I cut ahead of time as well. This is shaded spruce, and it is cut to, I'll probably get this wrong, it'll be posted on my blog tomorrow, and I'll share the blog post here, but I have it cut to 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and then this is Cherry Cobbler, and that is cut to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And again, the details and the correct measurements will be posted on my blog, so if I said any of those wrong, then check the blog tomorrow. So Cherry Cobbler and Plaid Tidings look good together. Yes, they do. So, all right, so we're going to do the embossing here, and I'm just going to put it here inside the 3D embossing folder. And I think I've probably told you this before, but if you did not realize it, Stampin' Up! Put this nice little line down the edge of all of the embossing folders, so that you can tell if it's lined up straight in the embossing folder. So if you line it up with the edge of your cardstock right here on that line, then you know that you are going to be embossing things straight. Hey, Patricia, I'm so glad that you found me out here. So yay, glad that you're joining today. I have the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and as I've told you before, this actually is a really cool platform. It's got the exact instructions that you need for putting each sandwich together for doing any die cutting or embossing. Since this is one of the 3D embossing folders, we're going to need plate number 1, which is the base plate, and then you put the embossing folder with the paper inside it, and the hinge side goes through first on the platform, and then you're going to take the number 4 plate, which is your 3D embossing plate, and stack that on top, and we are going to run it right through the machine. Hello, glad that you're joining from Delaware. I appreciate you being here. All right. And I do have my die cutting machine off to the side because it wiggles my table around a lot if I have it on the table when I'm doing any cutting or embossing, so it sort of makes you seasick when I do that. So that's why I have it kind of piled off to the side here. All right, so there is our embossed panel with the Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and we're going to adhere that to the Cherry Cobbler card base or cardstock panel. And you'll notice that I'm putting the adhesive on the Cherry Cobbler and not on the embossed panel. And the reason that I do that is because sometimes if you press a little bit too hard, you smash down your embossing. And I don't want to make sure that I don't do that. So that is why I put it on the flat panel rather than putting it on the embossed panel. So just adhere those two together with a little bit of the Stampin' Seal. And we will set, actually, you know what? I need to get my ribbon out here. So I was going to set it aside, but I need to do my ribbon first. So this is the gray granite, and of course I forget the size, a 1/4 inch shimmer ribbon. So it's very pretty, and again, I don't know how well it shows up on the video, but it's got a nice little shimmer to it. Not too much, but perfect for holiday cards. So how do I like the new Stampin' Seal compared to Fast Fuse? To me, they're very, very similar. Hey, Jeanette, glad that you're joining today too. They're very, very similar. They have a similar hold as far as you know, how sticky they are and how well they hold things together. And I really like it. I must say that I don't have any complaints about it. It does take a minute to kind of get used to using it, because if you're used to using snail, it rolls on just a little bit differently. Once you get the hang of how to use it, I think that you're going to love it. But I love it way, way, way more than snail, because it's way, way, way stickier than snail was. I kind of had trouble with snail when I would use it on projects because it didn't always stay stuck for the long term, and I don't like it when my projects fall apart, so I actually so much prefer this over snail. So I'm very, very happy with it, and I like it a lot. So I don't know if I've sold you on it, but that's my thought on it. Hey Julia, glad that you're here, and glad you like the ribbon too. So all right, so I've got that, and I put a couple of strips of Stampin' Seal down here, and then just put the ribbon across it and adhered it down in a little kind of Z shape over the card front. I'm going to set this aside here while I do a little bit of stamping. I've got cherry cobbler ink and the sentiment from the Dove of Hope stamp set. Just going to do some quick inking and stamping. All right, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take one of these stitched shapes dies, which I have over here. Not very handy at all, but there they are. All right, so I have got the stitch shaped dies, and I'm going to put get out my base plate. And of course, I don't know how I always lay it down upside down. All right, so we've got the base plate, and the cutting instructions are for the thin dies. So you're going to use your number 1 plate. Then you're going to put the number 2 plate down, which is your thin die adapter. And then you're going to put one of the number 3 plates down. Next up is whatever it is that you are die cutting, with the cutting side down. For the moment, I am using a little bit of Post-it note tape to hold my dies in place as I'm die cutting with them. When the magnetic platform is available, we shouldn't need the Post-it note tape, but for now, well, it probably would be helpful if I didn't have the cap to my my Stampin' Seal stuck in there with it. But for now, we need to kind of hold these in place because they skid around a little bit on here, especially since these are brand shiny new plates. They're a little slick, so just a little piece of Post-it note tape will hold it down for now. And like I said, once we get our magnetic platform, then we shouldn't have to do that anymore. So I'm going to run this, put the plate number 3 on the top, and I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine. Hopefully. There we go. All right, so we've got that all die cut, and next up we are just going to adhere this on with a couple of little Stampin' Dimensionals. And I usually, when I'm doing this kind of a project, will sort of adhere the Stampin' Dimensionals to the background rather than to the back of my sentiment, just because I want to make sure that I end up with them at least partially on the cardstock so that they stay stuck very solid. Sometimes if you just end up with them stuck on top of the ribbon, they can sort of wiggle around a little bit if your ribbon moves at all. So, all right, so we're just going to go ahead and adhere that down to the Stampin' Dimensionals. Then I went ahead earlier and stamped and cut one of the Dove images. I stamped it in gray granite ink on Whisper White cardstock, and then cut it out with the coordinating die from the Dove of Hope stamp set bundle. And we're going to do a little bit of quick coloring on it to just add, a little bit of color to the bird. Right now we've got the light So Saffron Stampin' Blends marker, and I'm going to color in just the little beak. Then I'm going to color in the branch here with the light Shaded Spruce Stampin' Blends marker first. And then I'm going to come back in just a second with a little touch of the dark Stampin' Blends marker. And again, I'm not excellent at coloring, so I just kind of put the color where I think it should be darker, which I think it should be down towards the center. Whether that is right or wrong, I don't know, but that's how branches look in my world. So that's what I go with. All right, and then just coming back in with the light Shaded Spruce Stampin' Blends marker to add a little bit and hopefully get them to blend a little bit so that you don't have any harsh lines like the one I just saw there. All right, and these are such tiny little images that it's kind of, you can't do like tons and tons of blending on them, which is probably okay. Then I've got a little cherry cobbler. I've got the light cherry cobbler that I'm going to color in the berry with. And then come back in with just a little bit of the dark cherry cobbler down towards the bottom. And that's all there is to coloring it, so super simple. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this down. I'm going to put a little Stampin' seal on the back, and then Stampin' Dimensional is what I was looking for, and put that under the wing. And I'm just going to adhere it right up here over the top of the sentiment, like that. All right, then we're going to adhere a couple Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of this panel and adhere it to the card front. Adhere the back to the front. Does that make sense? So hopefully y'all are having a good Tuesday. I guess I kind of forget what day it is. So school here is supposed to start back for my younger daughter next week, Wednesday. They're starting doing a half week. And we shall see. Right now they're doing at least part of it in person, but that can change, and we've been told to, keep everything on hold because they don't know for sure school's going to be starting for real in person or not, but hopefully it will. So I'm happy about that and hoping that things go well and the kids are able to stay in school this year. All right, then I'm going to adhere this to the card front with the Stampin' Dimensionals that I just put down. And again, I try to line it up a little bit on my grid paper so that it makes it a little easier for me to figure out exactly where I should be adhering this. Got a couple of the holiday rhinestone basic jewels, and I don't know if you can hear the sirens going in the background. It's really not an emergency. They ring the sirens here in our town every time they send out a fire truck or an ambulance. They ring out the sirens to, I don't know why, but they do. I have no reason, I don't know. Anyway, so it's really no, the world is not burning down around me. It's just the fire trucks are going out. So, all right. So that is the card front, and that is all there is to it. Pretty simple. Hopefully you'll like it. The inside of the card I kept pretty simple as well. Just got a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and the sentiment again is from the Dove of Hope stamp set, and I've got cherry cobbler ink, and we're going to do a little bit of quick stamping on the inside. All right, got that inked up, and again I try to put this down straight in hopes that I'll stamp it straight, which doesn't always happen, but I think that looks reasonably straight, so we can call that good. And then I've got a little piece of the leftover Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, and it's about a 1/2 inch wide, and I'm just going to adhere it to the bottom of the Whisper White cardstock panel. And again, hopefully straight. I'm going to put a little something dark underneath it so that I can see where the edge of the panel is. Again, hopefully straight. All right, got that adhered down, and then I'm just going to trim off the little excess that I've got here. And then add a little bit of Stampin' Seal to the back of the panel. Try not to drive it off the panel, which I frequently do because I am not an excellent driver of tape runners. All right, and we're going to adhere that to the inside of the card base, and we will be all done. All right, so there we go. I'm going to give this a quick crease at the bone folder and call that good. All right, that is all that I've got for my card today, so I appreciate you all being here. Thanks so much for joining. I will plan to be back live on Facebook next week, Tuesday, around 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and I will be back out on my YouTube channel live on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern Time. As things go through the school year, I may have to change the times, but I will definitely let you know ahead of time if I have to do that. But as of right now, I'm planning to be on my normal schedule because I think it's going to work with the new school stuff. So thank goodness about that. Happy to hear that. So, hey, Connie, I didn't even see that you'd hopped in here. So I appreciate all your comments on my card, and I appreciate you guys spending part of your day with me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And if you have any questions, let me know. And again, I'll be posting all the details for this card out on my blog tomorrow, and I'll add the link in here with the video so you'll be able to find it. So thanks again for joining. Have a good rest of your day, and we will chat soon.